Hey everyone, this was a requested video by one of my subscribers called Serena de Song, and this is my list of princesses from number 1 all the way down to number 14. Enjoy! Disney Nerd here, aka Abby. So yes, as I said in my intro, this was a requested video from one of my subscribers who comments on pretty much every video I do, and I absolutely love talking to her, and that is Serena de Song. So thank you so much, and here is your video. So I mentioned in my Akashi's video last Friday that I have a list of princesses, and I said if you would be interested I would share my list and explain my reasons, because obviously everyone has a favourite Disney princess and their favourite could be completely different to my favourite, and I've found a lot actually that their favourite is completely different to my favourite. But that's totally fine, and your list is your own, and feel free to comment down below also what your list is. So I've listed all 14. I have included Anna and Elsa. Obviously Anna is a princess anyway, but Elsa is a queen, and I just don't want to get a comment about that because I know, but in my eyes she is one of the Disney princesses, and so I add her into my list. So without further ado, here we go. So obviously you guys will already know who number 1 is, but we're just going to say it anyway, but you guys can say it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Aurora! It's pretty obvious she's my favourite princess. I think I've said it in the majority of my videos that she is my favourite. There is a lot of reasons why, but I think the number 1 reason for me is that she has a beautiful pink dress, sometimes blue, but she has a beautiful pink dress and her voice is stunning, and Sleeping Beauty is like one of the films that really stood out to me. My dad used to nickname me Aurora when I was younger. I've already said this in the majority of my videos too when I've talked about her. But yeah, she's always just stuck by me, and I can't ever shake her from being my favourite. I never want to in the first place, but she just has a special place in my heart. And so I always choose Aurora as my favourite Disney princess, and I don't think that will ever change. Number 2 is, of course, Ariel, because I love Little Mermaid, and you guys already should know this if you know me well enough. Little Mermaid is my favourite Disney film, and Ariel is definitely my second favourite Disney princess. She is stunning, her voice is amazing, the villain in the film's amazing, just like Sleeping Beauty. But she has some great characters in her film, but also she is so adventurous, she's quirky, she just does what she wants to do, and I totally admire that, because I think that everyone has an Ariel inside them. We're all curious about things, we all want to know things, we all want to live the dream life, and let's face it, how many of us want to be a mermaid? Because like seriously, I don't even understand why she wants to be a human. I would rather be a mermaid. Again, just my opinion, but she has this beautiful underwater world that I would love for it to become real. And I'd love the thing. And let's not forget, she is a princess with a daughter. Most people forget that, but I will never forget that. I love Little Mermaid too. I love Melody. I love all the characters in Little Mermaid too, and I love Ariel's story as well. And I think that's why Ariel's my second favourite, because she has so much extended story. It just makes her lovely. And again, she's a mum, and she's like the only one that is, so I just love it. I think that she's adorable. Okay, number 3 is Belle. Belle is awesome. She is so like the princess that you want to be. She just doesn't care. She'll stand up for herself. I mean, she basically put herself in jail, if you like, for her father, which I just find so admiring. I am a huge bookworm. I do love to read. I haven't read a book in like forever, but I've been so busy. I actually haven't had the time. I have a book under my bed. I'll get it for you. It is Inside Out, Driven by Emotions, and it is the story of Inside Out, but from everyone's perspective. I got this in Florida when I went with Becky, and I still haven't read it. But it's under my bed because I'm determined to read this because it just sounds so interesting. I think I got to maybe like page 18. And obviously Joy's first. But I just think this book's so cool. I don't know if this is still available in Florida, but because it's a few years old. But I'm really excited to read this. And so I relate to Belle in that sense. I love books. But also, I'm not going to say I'm adventurous, but like, will stand up for myself, and I do put people first a lot. So yeah, Belle is number 3, and we are on to number 4. I have put number 4 as Tiana, the underrated princess, again in my opinion. I love Tiana. I love everything she stands for. She's so determined. She will fight for what she wants. I know a lot of princesses do that, but I think Tiana is the most determined princess I've ever met. I mean, she works like non-stop to get money to build her restaurant for her dream, and I just so admire that. I think that everyone should have a dream. Everyone should have a goal. And I think that Tiana is that perfect role model for young children, is it shows them it's not easy to get what you want. You don't need a prince to do it. Although, yes, she finds a prince, but she totally did not want to. I know that sounds awful on Prince Naveen's part, but she really didn't. She wasn't looking for him. She wasn't looking for a prince. All she wanted to do was get the money and build a restaurant and build her dream. So I admire her for that, and that's one of the reasons why she's one of my favourites. Number 5 is another person who follows her dream. It's Rapunzel. I love Rapunzel. I love meeting Rapunzel in Disney. She is so awesome. And when we met Merida as well, it was just the cutest thing ever. The people, like, just the actual people working there made that experience amazing for me, because we wasn't in love with the restaurant, but that's a whole different video. But Rapunzel and Flynn were just so adorable. I loved it. And then the actual attendants around them were just making the cutest moments ever. But yeah, Rapunzel. Again, she has a dream. And she will not stop until she gets it. And I love Rapunzel so much. I just think that she's just so daring and bold. And also, like I say, if you have a dream, you've got to fight for it. And I just think that Rapunzel and Tiana are both fabulous examples of that. And I say just role models for younger girls. You can't just get things handed to you. You have to go out there and get it. And I think that's just perfect. And like I say, I think they both represent that so well. I have got a notebook, by the way, that I keep reading, just because I've wrote this list about 60 times. Because it's hard for me. It was hard to do my numbers, but I've literally just done it now, and I'm sticking with it, which is why I'm reading it, so I don't change my mind. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 6 is Cinderella. Now, I love Cinderella. I think that she's beautiful. I think that her story is lovely, but I'm not going to lie, in the first one, she wouldn't be high on this list if it was just the first film alone. Because again, she's adventurous, she goes after what she wants, but at the end of the day, she's not a great role model. Things do pretty much get handed to her. But it's not her fault, because she deserved it, if that makes sense. But in the second film, like, there's a little bit, I don't know if you guys have seen the second film. If you haven't, go watch it, it's amazing. But she forgives Anastasia and basically helps Anastasia with this guy that she really likes, and that is why I love Cinderella, because sorry guys, we got interrupted. So as I was saying, she puts everything aside and really, really helps her sister, and no matter what. And she also helps Jack because he has an issue. I don't want to spoil the film, so I'm not going to say like everything. And she basically accepts who she is in the first thing. There's like 3 different little stories. And she accepts who she is no matter what, and she basically tells this maid who's called Prudence, like, this is who she is, this is how the prince fell in love with her. And so this is why I love Cinderella, because I think in the other films she gets better represented. She's not just a damsel in distress, which is what could be said for maybe Aurora, because yeah, Aurora's my favourite, but to be honest, like, she isn't a role model. She doesn't really have anything that could be like, oh my god, yeah, that's what I want to be, other than she sleeps great. I would love to be able to sleep as long as her. I am such a light sleeper. But yeah, so I think that Cinderella gets more of a story, she gets more of a meaning to her, which is why she's lower on the list based on the first film, but higher on the list than she would have been if those films didn't exist. I know that rambled for a while, but I really wanted to explain that because I know that she's like an original and so many people love Cinderella. I love her too, but I just feel like the more films, the second film, and yeah, I guess the third film too, shows you who she is, and I love that. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling about Cinderella, move on to the next person, which is Moana. Yes, she is new, so that is surprising that she's quite high on my list, but there are reasons. And again, I am all for a princess that is a role model. I just think that role models are what children need these days, especially in the world that we live in. And I think that Moana is amazing at that. I mean, she doesn't listen. Most kids don't. So again, take that as you leave it. But she, again, is determined. She knows that she belongs somewhere else, and she makes that heard. She tries her best. She doesn't let stupid people get in the way. She doesn't let Maui tell her that she's rubbish. She'll make sure, and she tries, and she'll not just give up. She will try and try and try and try until she's done it. And I just think that that's an amazing message. Yes, go after your dream. It's not going to be easy, but go after it, because no matter how many times you try and you fail, there'll be that one time where you'll do it. And I just think Moana is the perfect example of that. Plus Pua is so cute. I love Pua so much. But yeah, I just think Moana is a fantastic role model to younger kids. I think that she's definitely up there in the role model aspect of Disney princesses. But again, this is just a list of favourite princesses and explaining why. So this is why. I just think that, she, like I said, she's a great role model. I think that people need to be more determined and ready to fail, because you're not always going to get it right first time. That's the whole point of things. But eventually you'll do it. And that is what I think Moana, deep in her story, is basically about. So that's why Moana is number 7. Okay, number 8. Where is my list? Nah. Sorry, I've numbered them and I can't find number 8. But I found her, and that is Jasmine. Now, Jasmine did not used to be one of my favourite princesses, and I know that sounds awful, but it's actually very true. Jasmine was not the one that I would say, oh my god, yeah, she's totally in my top 10. No. But again, Jasmine, I know this sounds bad because I do agree with Disney remakes. I think they're amazing, but I just think sometimes we need some different films. And I explained that in my video about villains, saying that I feel like the villains need films just them and stuff like that. So in this Aladdin remake, they gave Jasmine more of a character, in my opinion. They gave her someone that you'd root for, someone that you'd actually love, because again, she wants to be the Sultan and they weren't letting her. And guess what? She did it. It wasn't about Aladdin. It wasn't about her finding her place. And Speechless is one of my favourite songs ever. I just think it's so powerful. And I think that Jasmine needed that. Jasmine needed a ballad where she could show off who she was. And in the Disney film, it's just not that expressed. And this is based off the remake. The remake has made me love Jasmine a lot more. Not necessarily the film Aladdin, but Jasmine, because she really, really stood out for me. And I think that Naomi Scott was amazing. And I just think that she gave Jasmine so much more character and gave her more of a role model thing for children. That's why she's so high. But honestly, a few months ago before I saw that, she wouldn't be that high. She probably wouldn't have even made it in the 10. again, this is just my opinion. A lot of people love a lot of the princesses that I'm lowering, and that's totally fine. Like I said, you have your opinion, and feel free to comment down below and tell me your list as I go on, because I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I do think that because of the remake, Jasmine is higher on my list because they've just given more character and more someone to root for, if that makes sense. Number 9 for me is Princess Anna. I love Anna. I love Frozen. I'm not going to say it's amazing. I need a drink break. I love Anna. I think that she is incredible. I think that she is just your basic average little teenage girl who falls in love and just thinks everything's going to be all fairy tales and rainbows, and it just doesn't happen like that. And she learns very quickly and rather horribly that all guys are just not that nice. And she loves chocolate. It's one of the things I can relate to. But I just think she's so cool. Like, she's that person that I'd want to have as a best friend. She's just so funny and quirky. And I really hope in the second film that they give her a lot more character and give her a lot more opportunity. But by the looks, it's kind of looking that way. But I do think that she is super cool, super fun. And like I said, she learns the hard way, but everyone has to learn their lessons. And I just think that that was a nice kind of way to wrap it up. But then she did the right, well, not exactly the right thing, but she put her sister first, and I admire her for that. I love my sister to pieces, and I so admire Anna for exactly what she did. Like, she sacrificed herself for her sister, and I would do that in a heartbeat. So that's why I feel so close to Anna. Number 10 is Elsa. Yes, I know, Queen, but in my eyes, she is a Disney princess. So I love Elsa. I love Anna more than Elsa, and I think that people have this big debate. I love Elsa's song more than Anna's, because, I mean, who doesn't love Let It Go? But I know a lot of people want to let it go. But I think that Elsa is amazing. I think that she shows true character. Yes, she's afraid and she goes out there, but things don't turn out great. But then in the end, she makes everything better. And I just think that that is a great, again, lesson for children. But there are just so many more princesses out there, in my opinion, that are just higher for me. That's why Elsa's number 10. I connect with her. I think that she's amazing, but she's just not in my top 10. And I don't know if that's just because, again, she doesn't have much of a character for me, and I feel like I can't really relate to her. Yes, I've been scared in the past, and yes, I have learnt my lesson a lot, but I just think that she just needed some guidance, and she didn't want that guidance, but she needed it. And then when she admits it and everything's okay, she learned her lesson. And again, I just think everyone can relate to that. But she's just not, higher, in my opinion. So anyway, I'm just going to ramble on for a lot of these princesses. But as we're getting to the bottom, I feel like I need to explain myself a little bit better. So, number 11 is Mulan. Now, she is a Disney princess by rise. But in my eyes, she is not a Disney princess. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I do think that out of who is left, Mulan has definitely got some character about her. I mean, she is fearless and basically puts herself before her father, and then ends up proving to the world that men are not better than women. And I do think that that is a good lesson, and I do think that that is something that Mulan does. She definitely comes into her own, and she just does what she wants to do, but she actually proves to the world that men and women are not that different. We are all capable of doing the same thing, and that is honestly what I admire about Mulan. But just in my eyes, she's not a Disney princess, and that is why she's not any higher. Number 12 is Pocahontas. I don't hate Pocahontas. I want to make that very, very clear. I don't hate any of these princesses. I just, again, do not feel that Pocahontas is an original, she's not a Disney princess in my eyes. That being said, I do think that Pocahontas is a very strong-minded character, and I do honour her. I think that her love for John Smith, although I heard in the second film that John Smith doesn't exist, pretty much, which is kind of sad. But I do think her love for John and how she tells her story is beautiful. But again, she's just not a Disney princess in my eyes, and that is why she is lower. Number 13 is Merida. Now, this sounds really awful, but I don't like Brave. I really don't like Brave. I've watched it maybe once, maybe I could watch it again, but honestly I got bored, and I have never ever felt that bored about a Disney film before. But I just didn't enjoy it at all. Mordu was terrifying, like physically terrifying, and I loved the story. I loved the whole aspect of her, well not accidentally, but pretty much setting her mum up to become a bear just so she could get what she wanted, which I just think is a tad little bit spoiled. But yeah, I just don't feel connected to Merida at all. And like, I've met her in the park. I had a great interaction with her in my last trip. The trip before that, it could not have been more rushed if I'd have tried it. I think we got like 3 photos. She barely spoke to us because she was going on a break and to go and check on her brothers and stuff. And I was just like underwhelmed. And especially because I'd literally seen that film maybe a month before we went on that trip. It really underwhelmed me, and I think that's kind of the reason why I was like, But then her queue wasn't too big when we went last trip, so we went and queued for her, and she was lovely. She was actually one of my favourite interactions. So it's strange, like you just have different experiences, but I just don't feel connected to Merida. I'm sorry. Okay, number 14. Drum roll, because obviously you guys will already know who this is. It is Snow White. I don't know how to explain this in words that I haven't already said. I don't hate Snow White. I, again, want to make that very clear. I don't hate Snow White at all. I don't know. I don't really like her film. The only good thing about Snow White is Dopey. I love Dopey. And to be fair, I do pretty much love all the 7 dwarfs, and when I met them at the Halloween party, that was awesome and I loved it. But honestly, I just hugged Dopey like 1,000 times because Dopey is my favourite Snow White character. I'm trying so hard to explain this nicely. Yeah, I don't know, I think it may be her voice, because like I said before, my voice used to be a lot more high pitched than this, and I think, honestly, my voice used to give me a headache. Nice. My voice used to give me a headache because it used to be so high pitched, and listening to videos and stuff is just, it's awful, it's so torture. And I know I shouldn't feel that way about myself, but I really do. And I just think that that is one of the reasons why I don't like her. Like, I actually can't put into perspective why I don't like her. But I just don't. I can't. I really, honestly, I've tried so hard to sit through her film and to try and feel a connection to her, but I just don't. I do think part of it is the voice, but I think as well, she was the very, very first Disney princess, and there have been so many more better ones. Again, she doesn't really have anything, she doesn't really have any characteristics that I want. Like, nothing, and there's nothing that I really look up to in her. She's a damsel in distress, and there are quite a few people that are just damsel in distresses, and Aurora is one of them. But I just feel so connected to Aurora, again, probably because of my dad, probably because that was like one of the first films I saw, probably because I love Maleficent so much, although I used to be scared of her when she was a dragon. But I just don't feel connected to Snow White, and believe me, I have tried, and every time I try and explain why I don't like Snow White, I literally can't. I just keep saying over and over again, I don't like Snow White. She is not my favourite Disney princess. She is number 14. She is the lowest one, in my opinion. Again, I know people love Snow White, I just don't, and I don't know why, and it's really hard to explain, but I just really, really don't like Snow White. I don't hate her, I just don't like her. Okay. Whew. That seemed to take forever, and I'm really sorry if this is such a lengthy video. So if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you guys can comment down below and let me know if you agree, disagree, who your favourite princess is, who your least favourite princess is, and feel free to do all 14 as a comment so I can see how different we vary. Again, I have told you who my favourite Disney princess is. It is just a personal opinion. A lot of people don't like Aurora because she only has like 18 lines in the film. She is a damsel in distress, and yet she doesn't really have any characteristics that you can relate to. And I know I've made that clear, and I've said that that is one of the reasons why princesses are higher and princesses are lower. But I just have this child connection to Aurora, and I honestly will never ever change that, no matter who they bring out into the Disney princess universe. I would honestly say she is not my role model. I would say Tiana and Rapunzel and Moana are more role models for me than Aurora is, but Aurora is my absolute favourite. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'm really sorry I haven't posted a video this week. I have started work, yay! And I've literally been in like every single day since I started. I started on Monday, and I was in today, I was in Tuesday, I was in Wednesday, I'm in on Friday. So I'm gonna finish this and then quickly film maybe tomorrow the video for Friday so that that goes up, because it is about Cinderella's royal table. Woohoo! I'm so excited to talk about that because I just think that that is such a rite of passage, and it was awesome. Not fully, which is why it's not number one, but it was awesome in its rise. Anyway, that's for a totally different video, which we'll check out on Friday, and I'll probably be wearing a different top, but maybe the same ears. Or maybe I'll film it tonight. I don't know. If I'm wearing the same stuff, I clearly filmed it after this. If I'm not, then clearly I filmed it on Thursday, but it definitely won't be Friday. I don't know, it might not be Friday, it might be Friday, I really don't know. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the person who recommended me doing this video. It has been super fun to talk about Disney princesses with you guys. If you would like to know anything else, any of my other favourites, I've done my favourite rides at Walt Disney World, I could do my favourite animal characters, my favourite top 10, my favourite villains. I might actually do my favourite villains for Halloween, so I will do that for Halloween. But yeah, there are so many different favourite things. I could do my favourite films. I could pretty much do favourites for everything. I could do not the Fab Five and extra, which is Daisy, Chip and Dale as my extra. I could rate them. I could rate Winnie the Pooh characters, although I think you would probably already know that list. I love talking about Disney, and so these videos are very fun, so please comment down below if you would like to know any more favourites of mine. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye!